Personally, I'm a longtime Marvel fan. Please let me finish. Personally, I'm a longtime Marvel fan. I've watched all of the MCU shows and movies. I mean, almost all of them. And I enjoyed stuff from Phase 4 like Doctor Strange 2, Moon Knight, etc. that seemed to be mostly hated on by people. Even I, who has been optimistic about the future of the MCU for longer than many others, am really starting to see the cracks now. When it was announced back in 2021 that Marvel would make a show about Echo, a pretty boring character from the Hawkeye show, I don't think anyone started pumping their fist in the air and throwing a party over the announcement. Nobody expected anything from this show, including myself. I think it's baffling that from the huge catalog of characters they could have made a show about, they make one about Echo. I mean, not that it's looking better with their other upcoming shows. Oh boy, was it interesting to follow the pre-release conversation and news that leaked about the production. When you see that even Kevin Feige himself is not happy with the show and that it needs to be completely reshot, you know that, yup, something's going very wrong. Not only that, only shortly before release they revealed that the grand total of all 5 episodes would be released simultaneously, which was unheard of with these Marvel and Star Wars shows Disney has been pumping out. To me it seemed like even Marvel had completely lost their faith in this project, which really is saying something. Then they also announced that the show would be rated TVMA, and went on to promote the show by heavily including the popular characters of Daredevil and Kingpin in their promotional material. Did this reshoot save the show? Was this really going to be the first truly major MCU show? Would Marvel finally up their game? Fast forward to 2024, all 5 episodes of Echo are out, and I can answer all of these questions I just mentioned. The answer is a big fat no. Echo is unnecessary, directionless, and all around just a very frustrating show to watch. I don't think it's the worst show in the MCU, but it for sure is the most, well, frustrating. The previous MCU shows, even if they weren't good, they usually at least tried something new and different, which I appreciated. Echo doesn't try anything new. It's a very, very safe show. The only kind of somewhat unique thing there is are a few short scenes of like Native Americans in the past or something like that. And there's this one pretty cool scene that tries to mimic old silent movies, but these ideas are taken absolutely nowhere. What I want to address real quick is indeed the age rating. I have no idea why this show is rated TVMA. It's pretty much just as safe with its violence as the other MCU shows, and there's like only one scene that I can even think of that could possibly fit in that age rating. But I have no doubt that Marvel could have squeezed this into the TV-14 category if they wanted to. It also doesn't help that the director of this show outright said that it was not meant to be a TVMA rated production, and yeah, that really shows. This seems like an attempt to bait the audience into thinking that they would be watching something reminiscent of shows such as The Punisher or Daredevil. Speaking of Daredevil, guess who was featured in the trailer along with his arch-nemesis Kingpin? Even if the audience doesn't give a fuck about Echo, of course they would still watch the show only to see more of Daredevil and Kingpin, right? Well, it's a shame and by no means a surprise that Daredevil has a grand total of 1 scene in the entire show. A scene which lasts for a minute or two, after which he just disappears never to be seen again. Fucking hell, he had more screen time in freaking She-Hulk than in this show, and that makes me frustrated. Well, is Echo completely terrible? No, it's not. I have to give credit where credit is due, and that credit goes to Kingpin. Would you believe it? Unlike Daredevil, Kingpin actually plays a part in the story. And honestly, he is still really good, and the actor hasn't lost any of that Kingpin charm, which just makes me miss when he played this role in an actually good TV show. Even though none of the other characters are particularly interesting, I can see that at least some of the actors tried their best, and the acting isn't bad, it's just the writing of these characters is so lacking that it's hard to get invested in their stories. For the final score, I'm giving Echo a very generous 5 out of 10. A good few points of that only come from Kingpin, and as I said, that is a very generous score, because I'm feeling good today. But fast forward a few days or a few weeks, and that score may have lowered. Who knows? I feel like it really is about time for Marvel to pick up their game again and actually think for a while what they should produce and what not. At least this year, the only movie we're supposedly getting is Deadpool 3, so that's something I hope they won't fuck up. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.